Dear people of Ambazonia, fellow brave warriors of the southern Cameroons, today is February 10, 2022. Today is another important day in the history of the southern Cameroons. Important not because it's a day that brought glory to our people. Important because it's a day that the young people in the UN Trust Territory of Southern Cameroons called Empire Day, where young people came out, had competition, had fun, and mixed to promote good and strong values among themselves in the Southern Cameroons. On this day, in 1961, on this day I'm referring to February 11, which will be tomorrow, just Friday, in 1961, that is the day the United Nations decided to put the faith of the people of the Southern Cameroons on the line. On that day, we were forced to choose between fire and the deep blue sea. Nigeria, to a good lot of our people, represented fire. La République du Cameroon represented the deep blue sea. In the end, some thought that perhaps getting into water could give the possibility of you maybe not burning up, but at least swimming to some shores, that you could end up at least with a life better than being in fire. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a big mistake. I wouldn't really call this a mistake on the side of our people to have chosen between two very bad options, because this was the world, the international system, rigging the will, rigging the aspirations of the people of the Southern Cameroons to full-blown independence. And as if that was not enough, to make a mockery of the situation, La République du Cameroon has consistently, since 1961, tried to conceal what happened on this day because of their annexationist tendencies. So they turned around to Christian February 11, Youth Day, a day to celebrate the youth. My people of the Southern Cameroons, we have all come of age. A good lot of us in our youth never understood what this day was all about. In our innocence, we were brought to understand that it was a day set aside to celebrate the youth, because they always sang a song that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But of course, today, we can see who the true youth are. That youthfulness in La République du Cameroon begins at 75. My dear people of the Southern Cameroons, brave warriors of our liberation movement, on this day, the 10th of February always, Mr. Paul Biya comes out with a superstitious message to try and send our young people to sleep. In their continuous attempt to fool our people, to make our people not know that we are a separate people, that we were not and did not belong together and should not even belong together, they always try to conceal the significance of February 11. So I know that when Mr. Paul Biya comes out today, he will, as usual, be trying to confuse our youths with fallacious promises, promises he has no intention of ever fulfilling. I like to say this. On this day, I'm delighted, completely delighted, happy, excited, and I want to take a pause and pick a victory lap. Because after so much talking, after a lot of consultations, after reaching out, after sending delegations from camp to camp, from local government area to local government area, from county to county, to talk to our people about the need to bond together, the message has finally been picked. The scales have fallen from the eyes of our young brave hearts who in their thousands are continuing to defend our homeland, who in their thousands are continuing to foil La République du Cameroon and France's project to enslave our people forever. I can't go further without, at this point, lifting my heart to all those brave hearts in Bui, and particularly our brother No Pity, who picked the challenge and was ready to receive all manner of attacks in order to do what he did. With the willingness, collaboration, and total cooperation of all the other young men who also came to the realization that we are stronger together. This is not news, that always we will be stronger together. I am delighted that the message has been picked up and that despite numerous attacks which have not ceased, they are continuing from naysayers, from the demons of division, from those who know that they only thrive when they can set one group against the other, from those who believe that they can only make a name when they cause you, our brothers and sisters at the front, to turn your sticks against each other. You have put them to shame today. You have made it now very complicated for them to count on this. I'm still so excited after I watched the images from Batibo in Mogamo, after I listened to Grandpa of Bali, who has adopted the posture of not only the peacemaker, of the crusader for unity and cooperation, and for taking the challenge, all those challenges and the risk, to stand out there loud and clear and sound that warning to some of us in the diaspora who continue to believe that it is a beautiful spot to set them up against one another and that they will never listen to us again. Even as I speak, I know that there are people who are raising funds feverishly to try and see how to get a few of you to torpedo your very moves, to torpedo your very wish and aspirations, to torpedo your very determination to work together. But I want to assure you that the silent majority are definitely in favor of this beautiful move. I watched with a lot of delight our young people in Kumba, in Meme County, bonding together with those in Fako and singing the same song of collaboration, cooperation, and closing of ranks. A few days ago, we all listened to a leaked audio or leaked audios emanating from the phone of someone whose job was simply to take advantage of the cacophony in the diaspora to hit the heads of our young people and cause them to destroy each other. I believe that finally, with the notion and this clear understanding of how those who hate us, who hate our freedom, who hate our gods, who hate our desire to live in a beautiful, wonderful, democratic country, my people, that now that we know them, now that we know their workings, it is important for us to continue to solidly support those who have chosen to be on the right side of history. I say this because I hear the sound of bonding together in Boyo. I'm getting the first moves coming in from Mezam. I listened to Ten Kobo this morning talking about the prospects of heading the same direction in Dian. Before long, this will be the sing-song all over the southern Cameroon's territory. It is our defiance to the incursions and bullying of La République du Cameroon that will eventually send them backing out of our territory. For those who are still doubting that La République du Cameroon is already, at least at a psychological level, defeated, note that when you hear that divisional officers, colonial divisional officers in Ndop and then in Tuba begin assembling students, getting to school and forcing students out of their classrooms and getting them to do so-called 11th February march past right from the 7th, the 6th, and the 8th of February, so that eventually they will broadcast these images on the 11th and give the impression that that is what was going on. You understand, therefore, the depth of the defeat that La République du Cameroon is facing on our territory. I have colleagues or former colleagues at CRTV in Yaoundé who have confirmed receiving those images and have been working on them to broadcast them as purportedly being march past being staged on February 11. To those of you who are going to be misled to step out on this February 11 with the false promises that your security is going to be taken care of, with the false promises that you are going to earn a stipend, and with the false promises that you are going to end up being given something that will change your life, ask yourself this fundamental question: what has the administration of Mr. Paul Biya done to this man, to Shomitang of Bambalang? Over 60 days gone, there is no word. Not a single word. Over 60 days gone, we are not hearing any noise from the Cameroon press. But this is someone who was said to be the president of what they claimed was an all-important House of Chiefs for the area they call Northwest. If that institution was as important as they claim, that country would not sit quiet and watch its president disappear in thin air and say nothing. I bring this out just to draw the attention of those who still continue to live in the dream world that something good can still come out of La République du Cameroon. To draw the attention of those who still erroneously talk about something called special status and hope that something will come out of it. Napoleon Bonaparte of France said men are governed by toys. And that is why each time there is an agitation, Mr. Paul Biya gives one kind of sinecure position or the other to someone from your village, to someone from your local government area, to someone from your county, and then give you the illusion that that is your own share of the national cake. But this is not Anglo-Saxon. Because in the Anglo-Saxon world, we believe strongly that any position of responsibility that anyone holds in the public administration or wherever is acquired on basis of merit. The moment they start telling you that someone from your ethnic group has been elevated because it is a gift to your ethnic group, the message you get simply is that someone somewhere is being robbed, because this is no longer meritocracy. It is an era of clientelism. This is exactly what, my people, we the people of the southern Cameroons, we the people of Ambazonia are trying to run away from, or are running away from. We didn't have to belong there in the first place. We should absolutely not belong there at all. I want to draw the attention of all and sundry that far from talking, far from urging synergy, far from asking our people to bond together, we have been doing the hard work. We have been getting down into the trenches and talking to each and every one. I urge all Southern Cameroonians, all Ambazonians, wherever you may be, to note that the era of I is dying. It is even dead, giving birth to the era of we. What this means is that you should join the trend. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, your contribution is important in helping us to work together as a people. As the days go by, you continue to listen, you continue to hear, and you continue to see the international conspiracy against our very wishes and aspirations. This is a clear indication that if we do not stand up to define very clearly who we are, others will define us for us. And the only way we do this is by understanding the importance of numbers. Why do numbers make sense? Numbers make sense because the more you bond together, the more you become a bigger broom. And always, we learn in the African proverbs that when you are alone, it's easy to break you. But the bunch of broom is complicated to break. This is why we must continue to encourage the efforts of all those who have made up their minds to come together. Let us halt the attempts at mocking at people simply because some approach that they took failed. We should rather open their eyes, help them see why an alternative approach is better. I'd like once more to congratulate our young people of the Southern Cameroons who have determined that in this never again generation, we will never ever again be the slaves of La République du Cameroon. And I want to direct this message specifically to our sisters, our daughters of the Southern Cameroons on the territory. You do us a disservice when you decide, maybe out of want, to side with the enemy against your own brothers who are standing tall to protect our communities, who are standing tall to promote our ideals for freedom, who are standing tall to fight for what our people believe in. In other circumstances, we have seen the women live up to their expectations by standing close to their brothers, standing close to the men, working hand in glove with them to ensure that they attain the objective. In the Bible story of old, we saw Queen Esther within, doing everything to embolden Mordecai without, and all the others who were fighting to restore the dignity of their peoples. This is the kind of role I expect, that we expect our sisters, our daughters, our mothers of the Southern Cameroons to play as we prosecute our liberation movement to safer and successful shores. This evening, I refer to this evening of February 10, 2022. When you hear the president of neighboring La République du Cameroon talk, addressing himself to you young people of the Southern Cameroons, ignore all the promises, ignore all the glitter, and ignore all the invitation on you to do what will be against your own very will, against your own very wishes, against your own very aspirations. As a people, we will be able to overcome. I don't need to remind anyone here what the future would look like. God forbid, if for one reason or the other, we failed to deliver freedom to our people. Anytime the steam begins to run out of you, think about this. Ask yourself what will happen. Because right at this moment, where we are calling on the attention of the entire world to come to our rescue, La République du Cameroon is continuing unabated in implementing their policy of assimilation on our land. This is one reason that must continue to motivate each and every one of us to recognize that no matter what we see as cacophony within our movement, we must continue to do that which is right. No one should be fooled about all the liberation movements that came before ours faced the kind of problems that we are facing. In the end, the people were able to overcome their challenges. In the end, the people might not have totally united, but the majorities of the people opted to do what is right. And eventually, they were able to achieve freedom for themselves. Our own case will not be different. My people of the Southern Cameroons, I'm using this opportunity to urge all and sundry wherever we are, not to become warriors of division, but to become promoters of synergy. Not to become warriors of threats, but to become soldiers for greater, cohesion. To become soldiers for a kind of unity of purpose that will see us all to great shores. And to those of you on ground zero who continue to excel in the bad practice of turning on to our same civilian population, taking them against their will and collecting huge sums of money from them. This is a practice that will not advance us. I know that at least 98% of those involved in this practice are hired agents of La République du Cameroun. But we have to collectively fight against it. We have to collectively continue in efforts to identify these bad seeds and make sure that we halt them from continuing such a practice that by day and by night alienates some people from our movement. But also, when you get affected, the right thing to do is not to turn against the movement, is to participate in all efforts being made to help in unearthing, in identifying, and in weeding out these bad seeds that want to give our movement a bad name. While calling on all and sundry to continue to contribute as best they can to promote this newfound synergy, cooperation, and collaboration on ground zero. Continue in every way you can to help these young men organize themselves the way they are doing. It is not only in their interest, it is in our collective interest. It will help shorten our journey to freedom land. To God be the glory.